Hello everybody. Today I'll be climbing Little Bear Peak using the Southwest Ridge route. Last night came in here around 9:30 p.m. and camped about a couple miles from the Lake Como trailhead. Keep in mind this is not the standard trail. I am bushwhacking it through BLM land right now over to the Southwest Ridge, and that's where I'll see you guys next. Not quite out on the Southwest Ridge behind yet, but that's it right there behind me. The first part of this bushwhack wasn't too bad, but it does say that the real bushwhacking is about to start. All good. It's a little bit slippery here. We really gotta start digging through it. I'm glad I'm doing this in the winter. This in the summer would be way, way worse. Ooh, thorns. I'm now on the Southwest Ridge. I'm about a little over an hour into my climb at this point. I've covered about 1.5 miles of distance. Yeah, this part right after the creek is very, very steep. But man, look at those views. Love how it's so flat out there and it just goes straight up from there. I am up about 30 minutes past tree line. Last pitch was pretty steep, but I only have 1,600 vertical to go in 1.7 miles. So not too steep it seems, but a lot of that does involve some class 4 climbing on the traverse. Views down into the valley all around. Look at the West Ridge of Little Bear right there. Cool little mountain behind it. Not sure what that is. I think it's just a 13er. And that's where we're looking at going up the rest of the way. Lots of talus, lots of steep talus, loose. We have our first looks at Little Bear, Blanca and Ellingwood Point, right there. You can see the West Ridge comes here. Hourglass Chute. Bam. Absolutely diabolical route. Wow. Man, it's really cool to see this up in person. Looks like we got a big flat section ahead of us before the last 1,000 vertical to the summit. We got 1,000 vertical and 1.4 miles. We are at the summit of South Little Bear. We just got this gnarly traverse remaining over to Little Bear Peak. Take a look at Blanca, the LV Blanca traverse, Mount Lindsay, and over there Ellingwood Point. Beautiful day out still. Weather's looking all right. I started about a little less than 5 hours ago, so I am moving a bit behind schedule, but I'm hoping for a 1 p.m. summit. Weather's looking beautiful. Blue skies. It's not too cold either. I think it's forecasted to be about 10 degrees at the summit. Hello everybody, I'm back at my tent. The hike in total took 9 hours and 7 minutes, a little bit more than 5 hours on the way up, and about 4 on the way down. Some notes about this route. It's very bushwhacky at the start. There's a lot of social trails. We're on BLM land, so it's kind of hard to find the route, but as long as you follow a GPX file of some sort, should be all right. I'll be posting mine, and I'll also be posting the one that I was following, which is from a 14ers.com post 2 years ago. Once you make it to the 4-wheel drive road about 4.5 miles in, a little bit before that is the best camping spot. I was just a little lazy last night. I only wanted to backpack as far in as I needed to be able to wake up at sunrise for this hike. The vegetation around the creek is intense. There's a lot, although the vegetation was nowhere near as bad as I assumed it would be based off of all of the trip reports I've read, but that's probably just because it's winter and there's just not as much around, but it was still a pain to get through. The right after the creek is probably the steepest section on the climb. It's kind of ridiculous, and it's loose. And then from there on up, Talus for about 3,000 to 4,000 vertical. Absolutely no brakes on that. Going up to the false summit of South Little Bear, um, is where the climbing really starts to pick up. You'll start to see some pretty exposed class 3, class 4 climbing there. Just Summit Ridge was it was very fun to climb. A lot of thinking, a lot of focus. But class 3, 4, probably on the lower end of class 4, just incredibly exposed. You got to be careful in testing every single hold. I broke a couple off. I kicked a couple down. Just got to be careful. Yeah. And that's about it. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Like and subscribe.